yeah, you used to have to book the tennis courts. I think I'll have to do this part as 3-beat part 2, because I don't know how to edit things, so I'll have to put them on two separate videos. If anybody can show me how to match them both together, please get in touch. Yeah, this bit here, this was the putting green. You could go to the main building here and hire out some golf clubs and a golf ball and go and test your skills out on the putting green. All that's gone now. It's just the way of the world, I suppose, and progress. But they have replaced it with some exercise equipment, which I can't ever say I've seen anybody use them. Anyway, yep. Now this place here, this was the main building for the tennis courts, the putting green, and it were a couple, an old elderly couple called Harold and Margaret, that used to run it. And they policed it quite well. They didn't take any rubbish off anybody at all. It were all they challenged everything that happened. A bit different now. Yeah, and this bit here was a bowling green, which we played 1 or 2 games. One of the lads I worked with, he came down on a temporary basis. He was a mad keen bowler, and he brought his woods down. And we used to come down at midnight and or later on during the shift, and have like a midnight game of bowls. It was how bizarre. It's such a surreal place sometimes. But yeah, that was fun. There was something as we were playing, it was like I say, we were at middle at night, and as we were playing, there were a group of folk that must have been into trades club, and they were walking through the park, and they must have just thought, well, what the hell is this all about? But they didn't even bat an eyelid. They just walked past, and we were there just practicing as bowling. So yeah, that was good fun. The building here, where that looks like vents, there were a big window there. And Harold and Margaret used to be very, very pro-police, and they used to come round and tell us about stuff that were going on. And we actually used the building as an obs point. Yeah, I still feel a bit wary about walking across here. Like I say, middle of a bowling green, it was just they were on it straight away. It were really well organised. This bit here, we're coming into it's a kiddies play area. We used to spend most of the summers down here, and it weren't as didn't have as much stuff on as that. Just the basic stuff like the slides and the roundabouts, and then yeah, we're quite well attended, especially in summer. If it's open, I'll just show you something that it's just sprung to mind now as I've been walking through. Oh yeah, it's open. Right. God, I haven't been in here for years. We brought Maisie down, like she's 20 now, so that must be over, goodness, must be over 15 years since. Yeah. I say Harold and Margaret kept this place absolutely pristine. I think they were they must have been here at 7 o'clock in the morning tidying it all up, and it was late at night when they were leaving. They were like 9, sometimes 10 o'clock at night when they were going. Yeah. This bit here, where this, I don't know, it's some sort of water feature, but that were a paddling pool, and basically it was like being on a foreign holiday. We used to come down really early in the morning. My ex-wife used to give us a lift down. She worked at the local estate agents, and we'd come down. We only had one car, and she needed that for doing her estate agent stuff. But we used to come down. It was like being on a foreign holiday in middle of summer. You bring a towel down and picnic stuff, and we'd throw your towels on the bench, like yeah, it's like being abroad without having to fly anywhere. Yeah. Anyway, back to my tale. I was sat there it must have been one evening, and I saw one at local ne'er-do-wells. Initially one at Bankstead Kids, but he sort of moved on and got into some quite nasty stuff involving drugs and all the rest, and basically I think he was doing a bit of minor dealing. He'd get his stash from the main dealers who would park up on Crown Street, and basically he'd sort of do the really nitty-gritty, boots on the ground dealing round Hebden Bridge. Anyway, I saw him one evening. It must have been going up to like 8, 9 o'clock, and he came through, and he never even. There were quite a few of us here. There were just kids still playing. It was a lovely, warm summer's day, and he came round, and I thought he just went straight to this tree, and I thought, what's this all about? And basically, what he did, he came up to that gap that were a lot wider then. The tree's obviously a lot older now, and it has sort of, that hole has narrowed quite a lot. But it was stuffing stuff inside, and I thought, what on earth's he doing? And then he just turned and walked back out. Well, obviously being a nosy copper, I left it a bit, and basically I'd had a sort of a bit of a slow wander over, and what he was doing was hiding his stash inside the gap in the tree. The reason behind it, obviously, if he was stopped by the police, he'd only have a certain amount in there on his person, which could be sort of written off as for personal use, rather than carry the whole stash around with him. And once he'd sold that lot, he'd come back and replenish his pockets full of more drugs to sell on. We set up an operation, a drugs operation, and I actually used Harold and Margaret's little caboose over there as an obs point. And basically I sat there, we had officers in plain clothes on Crown Street, and they radioed through when the car pulled up. He got his stash and made his way straight to the secret hiding place. And once he got there, he emptied his pockets. We pounced. Me and my mate came flying out of the building over there, and we pounced on him. We caught him. We obviously locked him up with all his stash in his pockets, and the lads in the cars, they got arrested at the same time. So it was, well, you're just chipping away at the the iceberg, aren't you? We're only one set of dealers that we'd caught. They were charged with it, and I think they ended up going to court and get found guilty. But within a couple of days, they'd have been back doing it all again. So, like I say, we're just chipping away at the large shit iceberg of drugs and drug dealers. Right, we'll go back on a lighter note. We'll go back through to the park, over this bridge. You see there's a canal bank there, and we often get barges coming down using Rochdale Canal, which that's what it is, and they come down from Sowerby Bridge and probably further afield, and leisurely make their way through the Calder Valley through to Todd, and I think they can go on to Rochdale. I think they opened it up and you can get on there. Yeah, as you can see, there's some barges there, and this bridge, yeah, over the canal. And we use this quite a lot as well for doing obs back in the day. That's a much photographed view there of the barges and Hebden Bridge. Yeah. I can see the attraction. I said it in the last videos. I can see the attraction with the place. It's relatively unspoilt. The buildings, the old Victorian buildings, and some older than that, have been left relatively intact after they put it down as slum clearance. But I'm pretty sure if they'd have put some money into houses, there'd have been nice little places. There were some obviously that needed pulling down, but I think they went a bit over the top with it in these little towns and cities, and replaced it all with, well, what I just call concrete crap, which has lasted about 20-30 years and having to replace it all. So you can't beat good old Yorkshire stone. You can't really. Yeah, that's a home house there. It's been all sorts of stuff. It's been I think it was an old people's home when I first came down here, and then it was a hotel, and I think it's a private house now. So there you go. That's just behind the trees. You can't see it too much of it, but that's a home house. We'll be back. That's the famous Bankstep Kids, which I mentioned quite a lot in my books. Yeah. And there we go. This is the Memorial Gardens, where they gather every November for Remembrance Day, remembering the young lads who went off to war, fighting the war, First World War and the Second World War. There's some sad tales behind it all. Yeah, different times. Right, and we're back out onto the gates from Calderhomes Park. Somebody's left the hat behind. I don't know what that's all about, but well, we're nearly at the end of our little beat, little trek around Hebden. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying these little treks around. I say I'm no tech whiz kid. It's all pretty simple stuff, and I quite enjoy doing them, and I just hope you do too. So let's see what's on. See what's on at the pictures. Yeah, that's a lovely little cinema. I think there were plans to do something with it years and years ago, but the public kicked off and put a stop to it all. But no, these people come along and have these brilliant ideas. So, some are good and some are not so good. I think Hebden, it thrives on its past, really, isn't it? There's a lot of history down here, intermingled with some of the modern stuff, which hasn't really done Hebden any harm with tourism. Basically, I love the place. I know I play hell sometimes, and if I ever win lottery I'm going to go live somewhere else, but I'd only get bloody homesick and want to come back. So, yep, anyway, we're back at the Nick. I'm going to nip home and have some breakfast now. And like I say, if you are enjoying them and you get any tips about editing and joining films together, must apologise for my alarm going off. I thought I'd turn that off. So it's going to be 3 beat 1 and 3 beat 2nd edition. So anyway, right, we're back. I'll call it a do. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, keep going on about it. And, I've seen it on other videos. Just give us a thumbs up and subscribe and make a little comment if you feel you need to. Right, like I say, enjoy the rest of your day and take care of yourself. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da.